So you're very good about eating clean and a healthy diet most of the time. But every once in a while you find yourself kind of going off the rails a little bit and you think, oh, I've totally screwed up. I've totally blown it. What can I do to minimize the damage and prevent this from happening? Well, my friend, you're in luck because that's exactly what I'm talking about in today's video. And this is also something I have a lot of experience with because back in the day, before I discovered fitness independence and truly healthy eating strategies, I got caught into this whole pendulum swing thing where you are on one side and you're like, I'm gonna eat really good and healthy no matter what and clean the rest of my life. And then the pendulum swings to the other side, and before you know it, you're plowing through Ben and Jerry's and eating a bunch of junk food, and you're vowing, okay, diet starts again on Monday. The reason why this pendulum keeps swinging back and forth in cycles is because both of these scenarios are unhealthy, because they're both stressful. As I talk about my healthy eating strategies, healthy eating is the removal of stress. And when you're trying to eat perfect and clean and 100% all the time, that can be very stressful and therefore unhealthy. Because you may feel like I'm sticking to my diet, this is great, but if you've got hunger and cravings and anxiety and your preoccupations with food, that's stressful. Therefore, not very healthy. And eventually that stress builds up and you swing over to the other side and you overindulge. And you've relieved the stress of sticking to those rules, but now you've got the stress of overindulging, and then you swing back and forth, and sometimes the pendulum starts off gentle, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And as I said, both of these scenarios are stressful, therefore unhealthy. So how do you get out of this pendulum thing? Well, it starts to a large degree when you've gone onto this indulgence, and you feel those feelings of stress and guilt and anxiety. Those feelings are far more unhealthy than anything you just ate. You could have plowed through a pint of Ben and Jerry's, but if you feel stressed out and bad about doing that, the stress is worse for your health than the actual ice cream. When we try to eat right, we're trying to eat based on arbitrary rules that someone created or dreamed up out of thin air. It's based on science, but it's not necessarily what's best in your personal alignment. Maybe you should be eating more. Maybe you do need more carbs than what the keto diet suggests. Maybe you need some more meat in your diet or animal protein, and you'll feel better from it versus vegetarian diet may suggest. If you stress in your diet isn't healthy. It's the bottom line. You're over here for a reason. So the reason why the way you get out of this is to recognize that stress and say, how do I get rid of this stress? And yes, you may overindulge a little bit when you initially do it. That's fine. If take note of it, it's like, well, I ate some of this and now I feel a little, I guess I overindulged. Okay, recognize that was too far over here. So then you go back over, but instead of saying, I'm gonna eat totally clean, say, okay, instead of totally clean, I'm gonna allow a little bit more of this type of food or this type of behavior. So instead of going all the way over, you come over a little and you're like, okay, that was better, but it's still a little too much. Okay, and the pendulum rocks back to neutral. Neutral is where you want to be. Neutral is stress-free. Neutral is where you're not worried about food. Neutral is where you're in control. When you're on either of these points, you're stressful, you're not in control, food is in control, the diet is in control, and it's not healthy on either case. But if you can recognize the stress buildup from both going too far to the eat clean side and too much in the indulgence, and you can minimize each one on each swing, you'll get back to neutral and you'll probably be able to stay there and maintain that healthier eating a lot easier than you would on either of these scenarios. All right, I hope that makes some sense to you. Let me know your questions down below. I want to hear from you and I want to help you. So if this doesn't make sense, let me know. I am here to help you. Thank you so much for watching. Be fit, live free.